producer Eric, Special K, and Sam.
All right, Kevin, you're going to have to do it live. Look at me now. Look at me now.
Oh, by the way,
Look
Kev,
at me
my
now,
daughter told me that she
Ryan.
thinks that somebody took that song and they're making like TikToks about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that she's on TikTok. My kid doesn't have a phone, but my niece comes over to babysit, and if they look at like funny things that happen on stuff. And
I
so,
found it.
You found it?
Yeah.
You found ours.
Yeah.
Here's what it sounds like. Here's ours.
Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. I'm ruling right, yeah.
Yeah. She goes, Mommy.
There we go.
I think somebody's doing your look at me now.
Now it's
because,
official.
You know, so-and-so was here, and I heard that song, and I said, what are you watching? And it was like that thing.
Okay, well, it's actually a Chris Brown
Yeah,
song.
it's a parody.
It was called Look at Me Now.
Yeah.
So that's probably what she heard.
She heard the original,
Yes, it's an actual...
thinking that Chris Brown ripped off Kevin.
That's hilarious. Josie's
fun
up
song.
first at 713-390-KRVE. Awesome. Hi, Josie. Welcome to Look at Me Now here on the Roula and Ryan Show. Good morning.
Hey, Roula. Oh, my gosh, I can't believe I'm actually on the show.
Here you are.
How are y'all doing?
Hey,
Great.
great.
I'm so
Happy
excited.
Monday. Good. What's your story
Oh,
you
my
want to share
gosh,
with us?
this is amazing.
Yay.
It's amazing. Okay. So I want this to not be anything about bragging, because this is not what it's about. It's just about like more of a success story, okay?
Perseverance,
So my
yes.
son has been bullied like all of his life from school, from students, and even teachers, and even principals, okay?
What?
Sorry.
Okay.
Why do you think he's
Yeah,
been bullied?
I don't even know how to say it, but it needs to stop. But we have to recognize it. And how do I say this? I always encourage people to go straight to the principal, go straight to the administrator, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's really tall and really big, looked like a football player, like a little baby J.J. Watt or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so he always towered over people. And I hate to say too much because I know people know my voice that around here.
Oh,
but
you don't have to.
Anyway, in the spirit of what I'm trying to say, he was very tall, built like a football player, never wanted to play. I would be harassed, why won't you let him play football? So at 7 years old, Fort Bend Boys Choir, he sang. He is an incredible singer.
Mm-hmm.
And in sixth grade, the acting bug hit, the musical theater.
Mm-hmm.
So, stayed in his lane, focused, did everything he could in Texas, won everything, da-da-da-da, went to college. Long story, he's in college now. Last year, he's in music in New York.
Wait,
And
your
if
phone cut out.
Wait,
He's
your
what in New
phone
York?
cut out.
Your phone cut out. He's what in New York?
He is at Manhattan School of Music
Oh, that's
in
great.
New York. Yes, and if anybody knows anything about that program, it's very prestigious. It's a private college. Rula, they only picked 24 students. Oh my God, I'm about to cry. Out of the whole world.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Not
God.
the whole world.
That school's
okay?
a big deal.
Oh, my gosh.
We're in Richmond, Texas, little old Richmond, Texas over here. So we all know what Trent's capable of. Oh, I said his name. What he's capable of. I hope he's not upset with me. But, to be picked out of the whole world. Okay, so bottom line, he has excelled. He's done so well. And he's, performed over there. And I go see him. I'm going to see him on the 21st. But what I'm trying to say is stay in your lane, do your thing. It wasn't until he got into
Shake them haters off.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he got into theater and his singing career that he says, I don't care what you say or think about me. I'm a good singer. I'm this, I'm that. And so I think that these students need to find something that's their passion.
Oh, absolutely.
And that way, it doesn't matter what other people think about you, okay? So find your passion. So bottom line, I'm going on the 21st, Rula and Ryan. I cannot believe to see him perform for the New York Pop Show. And guess where? At Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's the best feeling.
You be a
Congratulations.
proud mama, Josie. You be a proud mama.
I'm like, what am I going to wear? I'm a country girl, that's okay? I'm a country girl going to Carnegie Hall.
No, that's a
And
great
so-
feeling.
Yourself.
Getting all fancy. Wow,
I
Josie, that is awesome.
I'll be all big hair, red nails, red lipstick, all that. But I just want to say out there, it's his success story that I'm telling. He'd probably get mad at me if he knew I was telling this. I hope his friends aren't mad.
No, you might be
You got
changing
it?
somebody's view today, Josie. That's why we do
Mom.
this.
That's why I'm saying this, and I'm about to cry. I want to change people's lives. I want these kids to know that you've got to find what your passion is
Yeah.
and stay there, and a support group. Have a support group and know that you are enough. You are
Yeah.
good.
High
Doesn't
school
matter
does
what-
not define you guys. I mean, if you're having a tough time, and I know it's easy to say that now as an
Yeah, 'cause
adult
when you're in
looking
it,
back,
it's
but
very
I read
difficult.
this quote last week, and I'll do it again. The way that people treat you is a statement about who they are as human beings.
I know, but unfortunately,
it's not a
you
statement
can't-
about you.
I know, but it sucks, Ryan, because when you're in it, you can't. That doesn't
know.
help you at all.
Words
because
don't help.
We
I
can
know.
know that somebody's very insecure, or they fear you, or they're jealous of you, and that's why they're treating you this way. But it doesn't make the treatment stop.
I
which
know.
stinks. And you know what, Josie, proud mama, you don't apologize for bragging on your son because you saw that he struggled for a long time and he found his lane, like you said, and now you're going to go see him perform at Carnegie Hall. God bless him.
It's a
That's
great
so awesome.
feeling.
If you feel like Josie reaching out to us, you can send us Instagram links or something to maybe his performance, and that'll be really nice to see. It's Look at Me Now here on the Roula and Ryan Show and 104.1 KRBE. Sydney is up next at 713-390 KRBE. Hi, Sydney.
Hi.
Hello.
Good morning, Sydney. You want to share with us your Look at Me Now story?
Yes, I actually talked to you guys recently, kind of about this, but since I spoke to you, some other things have happened.
Oh, well, lay it on us.
The Look at Me Now part is I was married and I became part owner of a female tackle football team. And it caused a rift between my husband and myself, and it actually was part of the reason we got divorced. And he made fun of me. He thought I was so stupid for putting my time and energy into this team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I talked to you guys about, the football team. But since we talked, we have now gotten a contract with the NFL alumni and the
Really?
Visionary International, which is affiliated with the NFL. For the next 5 years, we have the contract to open the Super Bowl.
What?
Whoa.
We will be having our football game the weekend prior to the Super Bowl for the next 5 years.
Wait a second.
So it's
What is the name
female,
of- wait, what is the
female
name of your
tackle
team?
football.
Yeah, what's the name of your team?
The name of my team is Houston Phoenix Fire.
Houston Phoenix Fire, and you guys got the NFL contract to play before the Super Bowl for the next 5 years.
Like a week
For the
before.
next 5
Yeah, like in the because we know from hosting Super Bowl twice as a city of Houston, there are a lot of events and festivities starting like one full week before the actual big game. So somewhere in
Right.
there, you're going to be one of the activities.
Correct. It's
Wow.
going to be the entire weekend, and they are sponsoring us. We also have, and this is a league thing. It's not just the Houston Phoenix Fire.
Mhm.
It's our football league.
What is the name of the
But we-
football league?
The name of the football league is Women's Tackle Football League.
Okay, Women's Tackle Football League. And how many cities have one? Because who do the Houston Phoenix Fire play?
We will play. In our league, there are 8 teams, but
Okay.
there are a lot of different leagues. And to be honest with you, there are 5 women's teams right here in Houston,
Whoa.
and we're all in different leagues.
Oh,
Wow. Do you actually play also, Sydney, or you just started it and you're the owner of it?
I'm just the owner. They hit too hard for me.
Too hard for me.
That is awesome. How did you score that? That is fantastic. Look at you.
It actually just fell in my lap. It was God sent. And once I started interacting with the players, I just fell in love with them. I saw their desire. I saw their motivation and how much effort and time they were putting into it.
Mm-hmm.
And initially did it as a financial investment. But when I
Look at
saw what they were doing, I'm the type of person, I meet people's energy, and there was no way I could only meet them financially when they were giving so much of themselves.
That's pretty amazing.
So
What is the age range for women that play in this tackle football league?
Now, Ryan, this is where you got me last time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't have an answer.
We step from 17 on up.
Okay.
17 and up.
Yes.
Okay.
Our youngest player we've ever had was 17,
Wow.
and our oldest player is 52.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I mean, anyone who has the desire, whether they have experience or not, other teams make you try out. We're really big on women's empowerment. So if you really want to play, we just ask that you come out. We will train you. And some women are like, well, I'm not in shape. We'll get you in shape. We'll work with you and get you where you want to be. And
how
then
do they reach out to you, Sydney? Because we're running short on time. I don't want to rush you. But how do people reach out to you to be part of this?
We're on all social media platforms, and all they have to look up is Houston Phoenix Fire.
Houston Phoenix Fire.
Well,
Houston
Sydney,
Phoenix
bravo!
Fire.
5 years with the NFL contract to be playing in the festivities before the Super Bowl. Very nice. Look
That
at
is awesome.
you. Listen, I am running out of time. I have other calls. If you're standing by, hold on. We'll get your story off the air because I want to know more people, with making it when they were told they can't, they'll never, they won't. And they did. Because coming up next, we have an update with Hannah from Roula and Ryan's Roses last week where she found out her boyfriend, her live-in boyfriend, is actually married to the kid somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's got a wife and a kid somewhere else. If you missed that original story on Thursday, we'll give you the recap, and then you'll hear the update next on the Roula and Ryan Show.
Time for a Roula and Ryan's Roses update.
We're going to do this on the air.
104.1 KRBE.
All right, parental discretion is advised. Last Thursday on Roula and Ryan's Roses, a bit of a shocker. Hannah and Cliff have been dating for 2 years. They just moved in together 3 months ago, and she's seeing all these signs.
But she also, let's not forget, people were like, what is with this girl? She didn't trust this man. She's constantly on his phone. She's constantly checking in on him, and she was laying it out like it's form. It's normal form in a relationship to constantly be snooping on your mate. And even with all the snooping, she still didn't know he was married with a kid. She still didn't know.
She overheard him in the next room talking every single night at like 10 o'clock. So all the signs were there, but none of us saw this coming.
Well, because she didn't ever say, like, I never get to go to his house. They live together. They decided to live together.
But he's in medical sales and he's gone half the month.
So here's part of the conversation from last Thursday, in case you missed it, when we figure it out that he's got a wife and child because of where he wanted to send the roses and how he wanted them to play out.
So my little girl loves daisies. Is it possible to do like half daisies, half roses, like 6 and 6? Or I don't know. I don't get flowers a lot.
I mean, that's a cute idea. I could probably work with that.
Cool.
How old is your little girl? What's her name?
She's 7. Her name's Charlotte.
So your daughter Charlotte's going to get the flowers.
Well, she'll get half of them, and then can I send half of them to my wife?
Well, it comes as a whole thing. So why don't you make the card out to your wife and to your daughter? So your daughter's name is Charlotte.
Oh, yeah,
What's your
sure.
wife's name?
Veronica.
Yeah, so I can address it to Veronica and Charlotte on the delivery, and then inside, what's the card going to say?
You know what? Let's just put something like, cannot wait to spend Christmas with my girls.
Okay, well, guess what? Hello.
Hang on there a second there, Hannah. Yeah, dude, you're on the Roula and Ryan Show. You're on 104.1 KRBE. You're on the radio right now, and that is Hannah, your girlfriend that you live with here in Houston.
Yeah. Hi, Cliff. So I hope they get the daisies and the roses because I'm going to cut the stems off of them, and I'm going to bend you over and shove them so far up your that you're going to taste them after Christmas. Who the hell are you to be living with me when you're married with a little girl, your daddy? Somebody calls you daddy? That's so wrong.
Hannah.
You sold your soul to the devil. I don't know what's wrong with you, but you moved into my townhouse and you made me believe that you loved me, and you have a little girl that calls you daddy, and you have a wife that you're going to spend the holidays with, and what am I going to do? I'm going to sit alone in the dark and drink? No. I'm changing the lock.
That's because, listen,
bother coming back.
Hannah, listen, I absolutely am in love with you, okay? Yeah, I'm married.
I'm
yes, okay.
so grateful.
Nothing has to change. I don't see why things have to change here.
What?
I absolutely am in love with you. Like, it doesn't affect anything. Like, I love you and you love me. What's the difference?
Okay, Cliff, I'm going to call your wife, and I'm going to tell her about our townhouse and how long you've been living with me and how much you love me, and then we'll see if it makes a difference.
Don't you love me? Why would you do that to someone you love?
Are you kidding me, dude?
You're delusional.
Yeah, this is crazy.
If you love me and if I love you enough to move in together, then why can't we make this work? Okay, like I can spend half my time with you. That's what I've been doing this whole time anyway, and we've been fine with it.
All right, you know what, Cliff? I can't listen to any more of your bullshit lies. You guys just hang up on him because he's a he's never going to change, and just get rid of him. I don't want to hear any more out of his mouth. But you know what I want? You guys look up people all the time, so I would like you to look up the name of that sweet wife so that I can give her a call.
We could do that.
That's all you, Eric.
Yeah.
We could do that. We do closure.
The one question I have is, I've like collateral damage. The daughter with the holidays.
Yeah.
I'm torn. I mean, I'll help you. But
do you want to do this before Christmas or maybe after?
Well, here's the thing:
there's a 7-year-old
if you do it
involved.
after Christmas, then you have the satisfaction of knowing that Cliff is sweating out the last 3 weeks of this year.
He'll be looking over his shoulder,
wondering when the other shoe is going to drop, because he knows what you know now. That he knows he got you into a relationship as a mistress, and you've already told him, "I'm going to tell your wife."
I'll help you get the number, but I'm not.
Eric
I don't know if I want to give it to you yet.
Contingent on doing it in the new year.
Yeah, would you be willing to do that? I know right now you're so angry, but
wait till after Christmas. There's a little girl
less
involved.
than 3 weeks.
Unless the wife is listening right now and recognizes his voice.
I don't know. It's up to you. What do you think?
I think that's up to mommy, isn't it? If she gets the information and she doesn't share it with her darling daughter, who I'm sure is beautiful, until when the divorce papers are filed, that's up to mom.
All right, so we have a little bit of a dilemma. Hannah was not able to speak with us this morning, but she did call the listener line.
Can you believe that? By the way, the listener line is 713-278-VENT. That's 8368 on your phone. Let's hear what she had to say.
Hey guys, I just want to let you know this is Hannah, and I talked to Eric after the show. And my cheating boyfriend Cliff, we decided that it's better to wait till after the holidays to let the wife know what he's been doing. But then I'm going to make his life a living hell because I have lots of pictures, intimate ones. And I took all of his clothes and belongings to Goodwill so somebody else can have a nice Christmas too. So we're going to take care of him. We're going to let that little girl have her Christmas, and that's fine. Thanks, guys. Have a great, happy holiday.
Oh,
wow. Well, that's quite something because people are really adamant in their opinion on Thursday. On text at 37530, people have been through this, and others who have, had to be in that situation where when do you rip the Band-Aid off? Some people said you have to just let him know immediately because this guy is manipulating his wife. Like he's mentally
he's
messing
probably
with her
laying
head.
the groundwork.
And if she already, you don't know what she knows, and if she knows something that's just
this crazy woman's going to call and feed you a bunch of lies. She's out to get me. It's always something crazy like that. But, I was going through those listener line calls this morning, and I think that maybe you guys could help out some person right now. They're having a tough time. You remember, we're heading into the holidays. A lot of people just miserable at their jobs, and she does not sound too happy. Y'all see what you can help.
I have been struggling to keep a job for the past year now. Basically, ever since I got laid off in May of 2022, I've just been jumping around from job to job, and I feel like I'm lazy and I just don't want to work. I mean, I know I'm not. I know I want to work and I want to make good money. It's just these jobs that I've been getting, I've just been so miserable, and I feel like I just need some advice. Am I crazy? And do I just need to buckle down and do what I have to do and just put up with it? Or do you agree with me, and do you think that I should find something that I at least halfway enjoy doing until I can get through school? I mean, right now I'm losing my mind, and I don't know what to do anymore. So please let me know what you think.
I think she's kind of asking, should I just stay unemployed until the right job comes along? And my advice would be no.
No, not stay unemployed. My understanding
you gotta work
was
crappy jobs, and while you're doing that, be looking for something
I don't
better.
think that was her. I don't think that was her question. Was to not have a job. I thought her question was to have a job she doesn't like that doesn't pay her any crap money until she gets through school. How'd you take it, Kevin?
I took it as she can't find her way and find something that makes her happy and fulfills her. Mm-hmm. And from my experience, when I pulled away from the Merchant Marines, I felt lost as well. My mom got me career counseling, which was very brief, and I took a career test over a couple days.
How's that work? Do you go into a class or is it online?
I went and spoke to a counselor, and then I took this little test in his office, and a couple days later they came back with the results, and then I got counseling again, and it really showed that I need to be doing something extroverted, something that fulfills my heart, that I'm passionate about. And I didn't even realize that media was something that I would be interested in. And lo and behold, I love this field.
How did you stumble into this?
It was because I was DJing at the clubs and I met radio people who were doing this as a career. Rather than getting paid for 4 hours a night, you could work in music and entertainment every single day. And I was already emceeing on the stage as well anyway. I was like, oh, my God, I could talk into a mic and do this all morning.
And you know what's funny about that, Kevin? I mean, it's pretty remarkable that it worked out that way for you, because some people could try that and it may be like this is a very difficult industry to
break
actually
into.
do very well in. I feel like there are not a lot of people in our industry nationwide who can make a comfortable living out of working on the air.
And it's shrinking, trust us.
And it's shrinking. So I think that that's pretty remarkable that that's what they found for you, and you actually were able to look at you now. You're able to make it a lucrative life for yourself.
So career counseling, y'all, if you are not sure, and there's so many, I'm looking it up right now.
So
there's
that could be a good
lot of tests. People want to know where you find
her.
that. People are like, Special K, what's career counseling? Where do I find this?
Here's
Is that
what I
you
Googled. I Googled career quiz, career counseling, and a whole load of different career tests came up, as well as organizations that help you through that personality test and career test.
Now, let me ask you this. You probably Google that. You're going to get a lot of like shady people.
Possibly.
How do you determine this is a legit business? Like, were they asking you for money up front?
Oh, that's a good question. I think reviews, especially if you go somewhere locally. This is a huge city. I know we have more than one or two career counselors in this city. I'm sure they could text us right now, and we could send them your way.
37530. 37530 if you're a career counselor.
Yeah.
And for those just tuning in, this conversation we're having comes from a woman on the listener line who is putting herself through school and not fulfilled in the job she has for the now, and it doesn't make money, but she doesn't know like what to do next. Well, I always feel like if she was calling us and telling us she's graduated college and she's stuck at this job, how does she get out of it? It's a different type of advice versus I'm still in school. When you're in school, sometimes you find the job you're going to do the rest of your life while you're still in college. But if she knows this is not where her heart is, well, just push through it and get through
You do have to
get
push
your
through
degree
it.
on the other side and be able to pay your bills.
Like to get through college, I worked a lot of crappy jobs that I did not like at all, but I always had hope because I knew this was not where my path led. I knew this was just a temporary thing. It was just necessary evil to pay the bills.
Here's another point to make too, Ryan. When I was in college working here at KRBE answering the request lines for $5 an hour and legit writing down your requests, you know, I was always here in all the hours of the day. I always want to be present and learn things
Make
and be
yourself
available.
known.
And at some point, one of the managers came to me because they knew that I wanted a full-time job and they knew that I loved working here. And they said, look, it's not on the air or on the program because we have the programming side and we have the business side to KRBE. And the manager said to me, you know, in order to make you a full-time employee, we have this opening in the department that shuffles the commercials. It's called the traffic department, not traffic on the streets.
No,
like I'm going
it's
to
like
be
continuity
Becca
in
Parker.
traffic, and they schedule all the commercials on the radio
like
station.
The time they're going to air, the order they're going to air, all this stuff. And he was like, you know, we could
rough
offer
job.
you that for full-time just to make you a full-time employee. And I remember saying to him, but then when would I have time to be on the other side of the building then? Because that's like an 8 to 5 job, sometimes an 8 to 6 job or a 9 to 7 job. And he was like, yeah, I mean, you could probably do weekends and stuff maybe. And I remember thinking like, you feel it within you. Like if that's, because I think a lot of people get stuck in a job they don't necessarily love. And they end up doing it for like 15 years because it pays the bills.
Well, you have to
but
give
doesn't make them
yourself
happy. If I
time
had taken that
limitations.
job, Ryan, I would probably, I don't know where I would have ended up, but I know that it was
You
not
would've-
the right path.
You would have probably still made it. I mean, I did the same thing. I was working in a research department at a radio station. I was the gopher. I basically ran errands for everybody. I answered the phones for the other DJs, and then they threw me a weekend shift. And that's how I got into it, basically. But you got to sometimes you got to take the crap just to make the money and get your education. And what you said earlier is spot on. Do the FaceTime with the people, the right people.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, I don't know. I just feel like you go with your gut too. Don't discount what your gut says because there's nothing worse than like going through school, graduating with a certain degree, and you like fell into a job you're not crazy about, but you're like, well, I guess I'll do this for 25 years. Then you're going to be like one of the people who's like, I'm in my 40s and I'm looking to start a career all over again because I've been miserable for so long. Not everybody does their dream job. I get that. If you are doing a job you love, pat yourself on the back that you got that job and that you are having a great time doing it because there are far more people listening or next to you in traffic that are going to a job they're not exactly passionate about, but they're in it because it pays their bills. 713-278-VENT is our listener line number. A couple of people asked for that on text. They can share their stories. We'd love to hear from you there. Coming up next, how about something to relax you? Nice little getaway for yourself at a hotel with a spa treatment. A little gift from the Roula and Ryan Show can be yours next on KRBE.
All things Hollywood.
Roula and Ryan's Celebrity Scoop.
On KRBE.
It is brought to you by Innovative Lasers of Houston. And how about this for a great gift for yourself or the one you love? You can enjoy it with the one you love and give it as a gift that you don't have to purchase yourself. In this time of holiday gift buying frenzy, a lot of people are like, oh, my budget's really tight and I'll have ideas. Here's something fantastic. It is a 2-night stay at the Omni Galleria.
That's pretty nice.
And you get spa treatment at the Macara Spa. So fabulous. So fabulous. If you are looking for a great gift for someone to enjoy, or maybe you want to enjoy it with them, 713-390-KRBE, caller 10, 713-390-5723. We just hooked you up for holiday gift-giving season time. 2-night stay at the Omni Galleria. Shout out to you, Omni. That's where the site of my wedding reception was and all the fun things.
I remember that.
And I know they've totally flipped like the way it's looked, because I know after Harvey, terribly, they flooded. So they did a whole redo to the hotel, multi-million-dollar redo to the hotel. It's a great little hidden gem there amongst the lakes and the swans. You know, fun fact, Ryan, people did not realize that the Black Swan Club was called that because the Omni has black swans.
Yeah, I remember that.
They actually have black swans in the ponds. That's why it's called the Black Swan.
The Black
Their
Swan.
bar. So caller 10, you're going to have a great little holiday. We were talking about this last hour, how Taylor Swift's tour is not done yet, but globally she is going to make almost $2 billion on that tour. We were saying how Shohei Ohtani signed the biggest deal in the history of domestic sports. I mean, globally, the soccer star Kylian Mbappe was offered a $1 billion deal for one season. And when I talked about it last hour, some super soccer stars were saying, he was offered that, but it actually never went through.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what the details of that is, but I remember a lot of stars here in America who get paid hundreds of millions of dollars.
But this contract for
even
the
made
Dodgers,
jokes about him saying, hey, I'll play soccer for a season, because it was one season for $1 billion for him. Shohei Ohtani signed a 10-year deal with the Dodgers for $700 million.
My God.
Making him the highest paid record-breaking contract there is. And with baseball, it's you get it all. I mean,
no cut.
You get it. Like
they don't have a way where you could weasel out. Well, he got injured, he's out. We don't have to honor this.
You just
he gets it no matter what.
And so we're talking about, as far as music tours and all that kind of stuff and movies, with the Eras Tour being released on the 13th on streaming networks, and the live shows that Taylor Swift has sold out and caused a frenzy, made a business out of it, made a class out of it for universities. She's going to make over $2 billion on her tour. The Eras movie made $100 million plus in the theaters. Beyonce released the Renaissance Tour. It did win the box office its first weekend, but Beyonce's tour in the movies was never meant to compete with the Eras Tour in the movies, even if people were trying to compare those.
It's just
it really doesn't.
A coincidence that they're both being released the same year.
Well, it's just not really coincidence. I mean, she did it because she wanted to, but she didn't make it the way she didn't.
No, I'm saying it wasn't scheduled intentionally because Taylor had scheduled one.
Right. But Beyonce and Taylor hold the top 2 spots for the highest grossing tours of all time. Actually, for 2023, here's how it shakes down. Beyonce has made $580 million. Taylor has made $1.04 billion. And when her tour finishes next November, it will have made her $2 billion. Elton John had the previous record. The Farewell Yellow Brick Road Tour grossed $939 million between almost 5 years, though, because he kept, breaking it up.
Well,
so
remember the
September
pandemic.
Of 2018 and then July of 2023. Take out 2 years of the pandemic, but still, you got 2.5 years in there.
Yeah.
What about those Kiss Boys?
Kiss Boys are not in the top 10.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Harry Styles top 5, $291 million from his one tour. That's really impressive. Coldplay was number 4 with $325.5 million. Bruce Springsteen number 3 at $380 million. Then Beyonce and T Swiftie. So there's that. I also wanted to mention this story. I think actually, I'm going to talk about it at 8 o'clock. Let's just get to the news. I'll tell you about that story at 8 o'clock.
Hey, yo. Time for KRBE's Roula and Ryan show to tell you what's going down in H-Town.
All right, it's brought to you by Duncan. We have a new mayor. John Whitmire celebrated a commanding victory Saturday night in the runoff election against Sheila Jackson Lee, meaning he will take over as mayor next month. Now, here's something for all our family at Johnson Space Center. 51 years ago today, human beings last visited the moon. It was the last time a human being's been on the moon. 51 years ago today, and that was Apollo 17. And Kevin, why is that?
We don't have time for that. We don't have time for that.
They told us don't come back.
Yeah, they said this is not your land.
You are not welcome here. And so if you peep at the dark side of the moon, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Isn't that where the Transformers are, Kevin?
Not only the Transformers, but the Greys and the Reptilians as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's on Special Case Scientific Podcast after the show.
Houston, Texas has led the nation's 20 largest metropolitan cities in small business job growth. Texas ranked second among all the states for small business job growth last month. Now, when it comes to small businesses, roughly 80% of the small businesses in Houston have 20 or fewer employees. So that really is a small business, 20 or fewer employees. Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud entered a concussion protocol yesterday after taking a big hit in the fourth quarter. The hit, which looked a little late, happened with 6 minutes and 43 seconds left in the game. At that point, the Texans were already trailing 27-6. The game was out of reach. The final score was 30-6. We lost that game.
Unfortunately. I want to say a big happy birthday to Matthew. He's 11 years old, and his family said they listen every single day on the way to school. Happy birthday, Matthew. Happy 11 years old to you. Coming up next, there's a story of the most frugal man I've ever heard of, and no, it's not Special K. But it could be Special K at the end of his life. What he did and why charities thought they were being scammed. We'll talk about it next on the Roula and Ryan Show.